Brother made a cruel joke about his wife, that he would let any man sleep with her if it meant getting an heir sooner at a party, so she snapped and revealed she's been having an affair and the baby she's carrying isn't his. My brother has always been the kind of person who tells the absolute worst jokes. Not just bad in a cheesy, dad joke kind of way, but in a way that makes people uncomfortable. He has this habit of cracking inappropriate, borderline cringe-worthy jokes like the kind you'd expect from a weird uncle at a family gathering who doesn't quite know when to stop. His favorite targets are usually his own wife, Lucy, and sometimes other family members, but he delivers them with such confidence, convinced he's the funniest person in the room. Most of us, including me, don't find his jokes funny at all. In fact, they usually leave us awkwardly shifting in our seats, exchanging glances, and waiting for the moment to pass. But somehow, there are always a few people, mostly men, who find his jokes hilarious and laugh along with him, which only fuels his behavior. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is that my brother's way of joking, his insensitivity, and the way he treats Lucy in public all led to her having a complete emotional breakdown in front of everyone. This happened during our cousin's birthday celebration, a gathering where everyone was supposed to be in good spirits. The whole family was there, chatting, eating, and just enjoying the occasion. My brother and Lucy were there too. Lucy, who is currently pregnant, has been through so much to get to this point. She and my brother had been trying to have a baby for 3 long years. In that time, she suffered through 2 heartbreaking miscarriages, experiences that had left her deeply wounded. After the second one, they had all but given up on the idea of having children. It was too painful to keep hoping and then have those hopes shattered over and over again. But against all odds, Lucy became pregnant again. This baby was their little miracle, the child they thought they would never have. You would think, given everything they had been through, my brother would be more sensitive and more understanding of what Lucy needed emotionally. But that night at the party, it became painfully clear that he wasn't. And it all led to a moment none of us could have predicted. At the party, my brother was in full-on bragging mode, standing in front of everyone and going on about how his time to finally become a father had arrived. He was beaming, acting like he had accomplished some great feat, as if this was all about him. A few of the other men in the family started teasing him in a playful way, joking about how fatherhood would change his life. They told him he should enjoy his freedom while he still could, because once the baby arrived, he'd have no time for himself. They made the usual comments about sleepless nights, dirty diapers, and how kids take over everything. It was all in good fun until one of my uncles took it a step too far. With a smirk, my uncle looked at my brother and said, "How did you even manage to get your wife pregnant? I thought your sperm was bad." The moment those words left his mouth, laughter erupted around the room. People chuckled, and some outright cackled, while I just sat there shaking my head, unable to believe how casually they were joking about something that had been such a painful struggle for both Lucy and my brother. Instead of shutting down the joke or at least brushing it off with some dignity, my brother grinned and decided to add fuel to the fire. "Well," he said with a laugh, "I guess it's still working, or who knows, maybe she got pregnant by a stranger. I mean, look at her, who wouldn't want a piece of that?" He then let out this loud, open-mouthed laugh, completely oblivious to how disgusting his comment was. A few of the other men laughed along with him, clearly enjoying the moment, but I felt sick. My stomach twisted as I turned to look at Lucy again. And that's when I saw it. Her face was pale, her eyes wide, her lips pressed together like she was trying to hold something in. She looked like she had been slapped in front of everyone. This wasn't new. This was how my brother always treated Lucy. No, he wasn't physically abusive, he never hit her or anything like that, but the way he spoke to her? The way he made her the constant target of his jokes? He was always this cruel to her with words. Every joke, every comment, always came at her expense. He never teased himself, never made fun of anyone else quite the way he did her. And for the longest time, I never understood how she put up with it. Maybe she had just gotten used to it. Maybe she told herself it wasn't worth making a fuss over. But tonight was different. This wasn't just some offhanded joke, this was disgusting. And my brother wasn't done. He looked around the room, enjoying the attention, then grinned and said something that made my stomach turn. "Honestly," he said, chuckling, "I would have happily let any man sleep with my wife if it meant I could have had an heir sooner." I felt my whole body stiffen. What the hell was wrong with him? I wasn't the only one who was caught off guard. Some people blinked in surprise, but before anyone could say anything, he kept going. "But I guess I got lucky," he continued, smirking. "I have such a passive wife, always on a leash, and she only wants me. So I don't have anything to worry about." That was the moment Lucy finally snapped. I guess his comment really rubbed her the wrong way. She had sat through his jokes for years. But not tonight. Not anymore. "Oh, you think I'm a passive wife?" she said, her voice shaking with anger. "You really believe you got me pregnant? Please." She let out a sharp, humorless laugh. "You couldn't get me pregnant all these years, and now suddenly, you think it's all because of you?" The entire room fell silent. My brother's face lost all its color. His cocky grin disappeared in an instant as everyone's eyes turned toward Lucy in shock. The air grew thick with tension, and for the first time that night, my brother had nothing to say. The atmosphere shifted from lighthearted amusement to pure, awkward discomfort. You could practically hear a pin drop. But Lucy wasn't finished. "I'm done with this," she continued, her voice rising with every word. "I am sick and tired of your disgusting jokes, of you treating me like I'm nothing more than your personal entertainment. I have had it. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she didn't stop. I can't do this anymore. I can't continue to stay with a loser like you. And honestly? She let out a shaky breath, steadying herself. I've already been planning to leave you. So I guess I should just get it over with right now. Gasps rippled through the room. Some people sat frozen in place, unsure of whether to step in or stay quiet. My brother looked like he had been punched in the gut. His confidence, his arrogance, everything drained from him in an instant. His voice came out weak, cracking as he finally spoke. What are you even talking about? He stammered. Lucy took a deep breath and looked him dead in the eye. I've been having an affair, she said, her voice steady despite the tears in her eyes. For months. I have been sleeping with my coworker. The silence in the room was deafening. No one moved. No one even breathed. I am in love with that guy, she continued. And the baby I'm carrying? It's not yours. It's his. He's the father. My brother stood completely still. He looked horrified. Lucy did not stop there. She acknowledged that she knew very well that what she had done was completely wrong, and recognized that this was not the right time or place for such a revelation. But she also made it clear that she could no longer continue living the way she had been. Imagine having to deal with his disgusting, perverted jokes every single day, she spat, shaking her head, and looking around at everyone. Having to sit here while your own husband humiliates you in front of his family for years. Having to pretend it doesn't bother you. I've spent years trying to laugh it off, trying to act like it was okay. But it's not. It never was. Lucy then told him that she wanted to leave him, that she no longer wished to be his wife, and that the only thing she wanted from him was a divorce. Nothing else. No money, no support, just freedom from him. Everyone was frozen, eyes darting between my brother and Lucy, struggling to process what had just been said. Then, without another word, Lucy reached for her purse and walked out of the party while we all just stood there in stunned silence. Ever since that night, my brother has been staying with me because he refuses to go back home. He's an absolute mess. The same man who always used to joke around, make inappropriate jokes with a cocky grin, who acted like nothing in the world could shake him, has been reduced to someone completely unrecognizable. At this point, I feel really bad for him. He has been crying nonstop, breaking down at random moments, unable to pull himself together. It's like reality has finally hit him all at once, and now he doesn't know how to handle it. The issue is that now he keeps insisting that I should go meet with Lucy, talk to her on his behalf, and somehow convince her to come back, or at the very least, apologize to him. He actually believes that, as his sister, it's my duty to take a stand for him and make her see the error in her ways. He acts like Lucy just snapped out of the blue, like she threw away their marriage on a whim, without thinking about the consequences of leaving him. But I feel like for so long, he has acted like Lucy was just a supporting character in his life, someone who existed for him to tease, to joke about, to take for granted. I have seen everything. I know the truth. But now that she's gone, now that she's left him in the most public, humiliating way possible, he has finally realized what he used to have. He thinks that out of everyone in the family, Lucy listens to me the most. So, he has been telling me over and over again that if anyone can get through to her, it's me. But what he really means is that he sees me as a tool to clean up his mess, someone who can do the work for him so he doesn't have to face Lucy himself. He doesn't want to apologize. He doesn't want to own up to his behavior. So if I don't? Update 1. First of all, my parents and the rest of the family don't bully Lucy at all. In fact, we all love her, but my brother is always unnecessarily mean to her, and even when we have tried to talk to him in the past about it, he never paid any heed to our words. Because people have been asking, and since some of you actually feel sorry for my brother, let me make this clear. I understand that from the outside, it might seem like he's just a heartbroken man who got betrayed in the worst way. But before you rush to defend him, here are a few examples of what my brother has done to Lucy over the years. Every time we have had a family gathering, my brother would always make Lucy the BT of his jokes. One time, during a big holiday dinner, he joked that Lucy only married him because she couldn't find anyone better. He said it with a grin, and added, "Well, let's be real, sweetheart. You are a gold digger." The room filled with awkward laughter, and Lucy just sat there, forcing a tight smile while gripping her fork so hard her knuckles turned white. The irony in all of this is that during that time, my brother was unemployed. He had no job, no income, nothing to contribute financially. Lucy, on the other hand, was the one keeping them afloat. She worked long hours, paid the bills, and made sure they had everything they needed. And yet, despite all of that, he still had the audacity to belittle her, to crack jokes at her expense as if she was somehow beneath him. Lucy had been through 2 devastating miscarriages. Anyone with a shred of empathy would have been sensitive about that, but not my brother. Instead, he has joked about it. More than once, he has made snide comments about how her body just couldn't hold onto a baby or how she is defective. He even jokes in front of friends that she was probably built wrong as a woman since she couldn't carry a child to term. When my brother has always seemed to think Lucy is some kind of trophy he can talk about however he pleases. He always tells people how obedient she is, calling her a good little housewife while making a show of snapping his fingers and pretending she would come running whenever he called. Can you imagine that? One time, a friend of his jokingly asked Lucy, "How do you put up with him?" Instead of letting her answer, my brother cut in and said, "Oh, she doesn't think that's why it's easy to control her." His friends laughed. Lucy didn't. These are just a handful of things I remember, but I know there are countless more. This wasn't a one-time thing. It wasn't just one bad joke or one bad day. This was years of being disrespected, belittled, and treated like a joke in front of everyone. It wasn't surprising that she finally had enough. The only surprising thing is that she stayed as long as she did. Also, just to be clear, Lucy wasn't completely silent all these years. She did try to stand up for herself. She did try to tell my brother, multiple times, that his words hurt her. But my brother never took her seriously. If she got upset, he'd always roll his eyes and say, "Oh, come on, don't be so sensitive." If she asked him to stop making certain jokes, he'd say, "Relax, it's just funny, everyone else is laughing, why can't you?" And if she ever tried to have a real conversation about how his behavior made her feel, he'd brush her off and accuse her of overreacting. So, I guess, over time, she just stopped trying with him. The truth is, I love my brother, but I also don't resent Lucy for leaving him. I may not agree with how she revealed everything, but I completely understand why she did it. I have seen the way my brother has treated her over the years. I have seen the way she has been constantly belittled, constantly made to feel small, and constantly laughed at instead of cherished. And now, after everything, he expects her to apologize? For what? For finally standing up for herself? For refusing to live in humiliation any longer? Update 2. It's been a week since my last update, and a lot has happened. After much hesitation, I finally met with Lucy. My brother had been pressuring me to talk to her, to somehow convince her to apologize to him, but I wasn't meeting her for his sake, I was meeting her for my own. I needed to hear her side of things, to understand why everything happened the way it did. When we sat down to talk, Lucy didn't try to defend her actions or justify what she did. Instead, she immediately apologized not for leaving my brother, but for how she went about it. She admitted that what she did was wrong, that it was cruel to reveal the affair in front of everyone like that, and that she felt terrible for hurting my brother, regardless of how he treated her. She wasn't proud of it. She wasn't trying to paint herself as the hero. She just said she had reached her limit and didn't know how else to make him see what he had done to her all these years. Lucy also made it clear that she was serious about leaving him. There was no going back. She told me she was moving in with the other man to one she had been seeing and that he had even been helping her pack up her things. She said it with quiet certainty as if she had already mourned the end of her marriage long before that night at the party. I had to ask the question that had been nagging at me. Why now? Why wait until she got pregnant to finally leave my brother? Why not walk away sooner? That was when Lucy broke down. Through her tears, she admitted that she had been scared. As much as my brother humiliated her, as much as he treated her like a joke, they had been together for so long that walking away didn't seem like an option for the longest time. She told me that she didn't have the courage to tell him yet, but then, at the party, when my brother stood there making disgusting, degrading jokes about her and their child in front of everyone she knew she couldn't keep doing this. She knew she couldn't bring a baby into that kind of environment. That moment reinforced what she had already been feeling deep down, and she finally had the courage to act on it. Before we parted ways, Lucy told me that no matter what happened with the divorce, she still wanted me and her in the baby's life. She said that despite everything, she cared about me and didn't want to lose our relationship. I was honest with her. I told her that I couldn't promise anything. Right now, my priority is my brother, even though I know he did her dirty for years. He's still my family, and as much as I see his faults, I can't just abandon him while he's in pieces. Lucy nodded, wiping away tears, and told me she understood. She didn't push. Overall, we ended our conversation on good terms. Update 3. Ever since Lucy left him, my brother has been spiraling completely out of control. It's like he doesn't know how to function without her, and instead of dealing with his emotions in a healthy way, he's been self-destructing. At first, he was staying with me, but after a while, he moved out probably because he could tell I wasn't going to keep babying him. But just because he's not living under my roof anymore doesn't mean I'm not still dealing with the mess he's making. He's been drinking excessively, to the point where it's becoming a serious problem. Almost every night, he's out at some bar, getting wasted and picking fights with strangers. And because I'm listed as his emergency contact, I'm the one who keeps getting calls for him. I can't even count how many times bartenders have called me, telling me that my brother's either too drunk to stand or that he's causing a scene and they need someone to come get him before they kick him out. And if it's not a bartender calling me, it's a hospital. There have been multiple times when he's ended up passed out from drinking too much or throwing up so badly that someone had to call for medical help. He's completely reckless, and every time I pick up the phone, I'm bracing myself for the worst. As if the drinking wasn't bad enough, he's also gotten himself into gambling. I don't even know when it started, but at this point, it's clear that he's addicted. Every month, without fail, he comes to me asking for money. He'll make excuses, saying he's struggling, that he needs help getting back on his feet, that he just needs a little family support to get through this tough time. But I know where that money is going. I know it's not going toward rent or bills, it's going straight to the nearest casino or online betting site, where he blows it all trying to win big. And when I refuse to give him money, he loses it. He starts yelling about how I'm supposed to be there for him, how I'm supposed to support him because I'm his family. He acts as I owe it to him, like I should feel guilty for not handing over my hard-earned money just so he can throw it all away. It's exhausting. I feel like I'm stuck in this endless cycle of cleaning up his messes, and no matter how much I try to help, he refuses to actually help himself. I have been really worried about my brother. His drinking, his gambling, His reckless behavior had kept getting worse, and I didn't know how to help him anymore. I knew I couldn't keep dealing with this alone, so I talked to the rest of my family, and together, we decided to hold an intervention. We thought that if we all sat him down and made him see how much he was hurting himself and those around him, maybe just maybe he'd finally wake up and realize he needed help. But it didn't go well at all. The moment we tried to talk to him, he got defensive. He refused to accept that he had any real issues and kept brushing everything off as just a bad breakup. He acted like what he was going through was completely normal, like it was just part of his healing process, and that we were all overreacting. He kept insisting that he was fine, that he was just blowing off steam, and that we should stop acting like he was some kind of lost cause. It was frustrating because no matter how much we tried to explain that his behavior was dangerous, and that he was putting himself at serious risk, he just wouldn't listen. Things got heated fast. We all argued with him, trying to make him see what he was doing to himself, but he didn't care. He wouldn't hear us out. He just got angry, yelled about how we were all ganging up on him, and eventually stormed out. It felt like all our effort, all our concern, just bounced right off him. After that, I had to make a really difficult decision. I decided to take a step back from him for some time. Not because I don't care, but because I can't keep doing this anymore. Constantly being there for him, constantly picking up the pieces every time he spirals, has started to take a serious toll on my mental health. I feel guilty, I feel horrible for him, but I can't keep sacrificing my own well-being for someone who refuses to help himself. Update 4. It's been a few months since my last update, and I wish I had better news, but things have only gotten worse, so much worse. I don't even know how to process what just happened because it's so far beyond anything I ever expected. My brother has been arrested for attempting to kidnap Lucy's baby. Yes, you read that right. He actually tried to take her newborn from the hospital. Apparently, Lucy has given birth. From what I've been told, my brother somehow managed to sneak into the hospital where Lucy had just given birth. He pretended to be her brother so that he could gain access to her room. I have no idea how he pulled it off. Maybe he lied to a nurse. Maybe he found a way around visitor restrictions. Maybe he just got lucky, but the fact that he was desperate enough to impersonate a family member is disturbing on its own. Once he was inside Lucy's room, he saw her lying there asleep, exhausted from labor. I don't know where the father of the baby was, but my brother, seeing no adult there, decided to sneak out of the hospital with the baby. I don't even understand what he was thinking. What was his plan? Did he think he could just walk out with a newborn and no one would stop him? Did he honestly believe he could take the baby and raise it as his own without consequences? Was he hoping to disappear with the baby before anyone could notice? The whole thing is insane. Thankfully, a nurse saw him trying to leave and immediately stepped in. She noticed something was off. Maybe it was the way he was acting. Maybe it was the fact that he wasn't listed as an authorized visitor. Or maybe it was just pure luck, but whatever it was, she refused to let him leave. And when she questioned him, he started getting nervous. That's when she woke Lucy up. The moment Lucy saw what was happening, she completely lost it. She started screaming at my brother, demanding to know what the hell he was doing. I can only imagine how terrifying that moment must have been for her, waking up in a hospital, still recovering from childbirth, only to see her ex-husband trying to leave with her child. The hospital staff immediately called security, and then the police. But instead of realizing he was caught, instead of backing down and accepting the reality of what he was doing, my brother completely snapped. He started yelling, making a scene, screaming at everyone that the baby rightfully belonged to him. He kept repeating over and over that he didn't care about the paternity, that it didn't matter whose DNA the baby had. He was the one who was supposed to be the father. He was the one who should raise the child. At this point, I don't know what happens next. My brother has been arrested, and I don't know how serious the charges against him will be, but I do know one thing: he needs help. Not just an intervention, not just support from family. He needs serious, professional psychological help. I don't even have the words for how disturbing this is. This isn't just him being reckless, or irresponsible, or making bad choices. This isn't him drinking too much or gambling away his money. This is something so much worse. This is criminal. This is dangerous. I never thought he would go this far. I never thought he was capable of something like this. But here we are. Update 5. It has been 2 months since my last update, and things have finally reached a breaking point. My brother has officially been sentenced. After his arrest for trying to kidnap Lucy's baby, the legal process moved faster than I expected. Given the severity of what he did, the court did not take his actions lightly. He was charged with attempted kidnapping, trespassing, and harassment, and despite my parents hiring a very good lawyer to help him, there was no real way to defend what he had done. He was caught red-handed, and Lucy, the hospital staff, and security all testified against him. There was no room for doubt. He seemed to have planned to take that baby, and the court saw it for what it was. The judge sentenced him to time in jail. Lucy also filed for a restraining order against him. He is now legally forbidden from ever going anywhere near her or the baby. He can't call her, or even text her. If he violates it in any way, he will be in even deeper trouble. After everything, I finally decided to reach out to Lucy myself. I apologized to her on my brother's behalf. I told her how deeply sorry I was for everything she went through, for the way my brother treated her for all those years, and for the nightmare he put her through at the hospital. She told me that she was seriously shaken up by everything that had happened and is now planning to leave the city altogether. The restraining order has given her some peace of mind, but she still can't shake the fear that my brother might try something again once he's released. She doesn't want to take any chances. So, Lucy and the father of her child are going away where they can have a fresh start, somewhere my brother can't find her, somewhere she doesn't have to live in fear of running into him. She's already making arrangements, packing up, looking for jobs elsewhere, and finalizing everything she needs to move forward. I told her that I understood her decision and that I didn't blame her for wanting to get as far away as possible. She's finally free from him. And maybe, just maybe, that's the one good thing to come out of this entire nightmare.